All right, ready to dive into something that might make you rethink that last snack.
Always up for a good food-related deep dive.
Today we're tackling the link between your diet and, get this, a healthier smile.
Okay, so we're going beyond just brushing and flossing this time. I'm intrigued.
You got it. This article you sent over blew my mind. Turns out what we eat has a way bigger impact on our teeth than I ever realized.
You know, I love to dig into the science of this stuff. What surprised you the most?
Honestly, it was like every other paragraph was an aha moment. But before we get to all that, let's set the stage. We're diving deep into this article all about how food choices affect our pearly whites so our listeners can walk away with some seriously actionable tips.
Love it. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to our health. So, ready to break down the need-to-knows.
Let's do it. And where better to begin than with everyone's favorite, or should I say least favorite, sugar. We all kind of know it's not our teeth's BFF, that this article got really real about the how and the why.
Yeah, it's easy to think, oh, sugar, bad for teeth, blah, blah, blah. But then you're at the movie theater with a giant soda.
Been there.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, picture this. Every time you eat sugar, it's like throwing a raging party for the bacteria in your mouth.
Okay, now that's an image.
Yeah.
I can practically hear the tiny bacterial music playing now.
Right, and all that sugar is like pouring fuel on the fire. Those bacteria go wild, multiplying and producing acid like it's going out of style.
And that acid, my friend, is the real villain here. The article went deep on how it actually weakens our enamel, that hard protective layer on our teeth.
So basically, sugar is like giving those bacteria tiny little jackhammers to chip away at our teeth. Not a pretty picture.
And the worst part, it's not even just about how MUCH sugar you eat. It's how often, too.
Oh, you mean like constantly sipping on a soda throughout the day?
Exactly. That keeps those bacteria happy and the acid flowing, which means your teeth are under constant attack. Limiting those sugar hits is key. Give your mouth a break.
Makes total sense. But before we paint all sugars with the same brush, the article DID say there's a difference between the bad guys' added sugars and the naturally occurring kind we find in fruits and veggies.
Right. It's like comparing a horror movie villain to your friendly neighbor. They might look similar, but their impact is totally different.
Perfect analogy. So when we're talking about limiting sugar, it's those sneaky added sugars lurking in processed foods and sugary drinks that we really need to watch out for.
100%. And actually, the article cited studies that recommend keeping added sugar to just 5% of our daily calorie intake for optimal dental health.
5%! Whoa, that feels seriously low. Like, how much is that even?
Right. It sounds daunting, but think of it like this. For a 2,000-calorie diet, we're talking about 25 grams of added sugar max.
Okay, and how much sugar is in, like, a can of soda again?
Pretty much that entire 25 grams right there.
Wow, okay. Suddenly that 5% feels very real.
Okay, so we've covered our defenses against the sugar villains. But how do we actively build a healthier smile? That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay some dental wisdom on me. Get ready for this. The article highlighted a natural sugar alternative called xylitol. Ever heard of it?
Xylitol. Rings a bell. Isn't that in some sugar-free gums and stuff?
Exactly. But here's the cool part. It doesn't just not harm your teeth. It actually helps prevent cavities.
No way. Seriously, how does that work?
Okay, so remember how we talked about sugar being like a party for those bacteria in our mouths?
Oh yeah, the bacterial rave. Hard to forget that image.
Right, well, xylitol is like if you swapped out the sugar for something the bacteria can't digest. They try to party, but it's a total bust.
So it's like giving them a sugar-free decoy. I love it.
Exactly. And the article said that in the process of trying to break down the xylitol, the bacteria actually end up weakening themselves. It's like self-sabotage.
Now that is some next-level dental defense.
Yeah.
I'm definitely stocking up on some xylitol gum after this.
Me too. But hey, before we get too carried away with xylitol, the article emphasized that a balanced diet overall is still key.
Right. Got to keep those defenses strong. It's like we always say, a healthy body means a healthy mouth.
Exactly. And the article actually called out vitamin C as being especially important for gum health.
Makes sense. Vitamin C is like the superhero of our immune system.
Right. And the study they mentioned found that people who ate more vitamin C were less likely to develop gum disease.
So all those delicious fruits and veggies we should be eating anyway are doing double duty. Score.
I'm all about that kind of multitasking. And speaking of, don't underestimate the power of those crunchy textures either. Remember how we talked about those sugar-fueled bacteria producing acid?
Oh yeah, like a factory of an enamel-eroding doom.
Well, turns out the act of chewing crunchy foods like apples and carrots actually helps neutralize that acid by stimulating saliva production.
Ah, so it's like a built-in mouthwash.
Hmm.
I always knew those crunchy snacks were satisfying, but I had no idea they were working that kind of magic behind the scenes.
Right. Nature is amazing. Okay, so we've got our sugar defenses up. We're loading up on vitamin C and crunchy snacks. What other surprises did this article have in store? Because I have a feeling we're not done yet. Okay, get this tea. Not just a cozy drink, but a secret weapon for our teeth. Before this article, I had no idea.
Right, I was blown away too. I mean, I knew green tea was healthy, but for your teeth, mind blown.
Seriously. So, spill the tea. What's the deal?
Okay, so both black and green tea, they have these things called polyphenols. Big word, but basically they act like little bodyguards for your teeth, stopping the bacteria from sticking around and causing trouble.
Hold up. So, every time I sip my green tea, I'm basically sending in reinforcements for my teeth.
Pretty much. They help prevent that sticky plaque from forming. Consider it a force field against those sugar attacks we talked about.
Love it. Okay, so we've covered all kinds of cool stuff about specific foods, but this article wasn't just about individual ingredients, right? There was a bigger picture about oral health and like our whole body, and that's something I think about a lot.
Oh, 100%. And this is where things get really interesting. The article talked about how people with gum disease are actually more likely to have heart problems too.
Yeah, I'd heard that before, but I always thought it was kind of a coincidence. Like maybe people who don't take care of their teeth just don't take care of their health in general, you know?
I thought so too. But the article said it's not just a correlation, there's actually a link. Seems like that inflammation from gum disease, it doesn't just stay put.
Wait, really? So it's like it spreads.
It can through your bloodstream. So
Yeah.
basically, taking care of your mouth is like a direct line to taking care of your heart too.
Whoa. Okay, that connection just got real. It's like a domino effect, right?
Right.
You ignore one thing and suddenly.
Exactly. It shows how connected everything is. And speaking of connections, the article also went into detail about diabetes and oral health, which honestly blew my mind too.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. What's the deal there?
Well, it turns out high blood sugar, it creates this kind of breeding ground in your mouth for bad bacteria. And that, of course, ups your chances of gum disease. It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so we really can't underestimate how important this all is. It's not just about a pretty smile.
It's about our overall well-being, for sure. Brushing and flossing are crucial, but clearly what we eat plays a huge EE role too.
Absolutely. I feel like we need a catchphrase or something, like a healthy mouth, a healthy you, right?
I like it. Catchy, indie accurate.
This deep dive was full of aha moments. Xylitol, tea, who knew? But honestly, for me, the biggest takeaway is that connection between oral health and our overall health. It's powerful stuff.
Couldn't agree more. Hopefully everyone listening is feeling inspired to make some tooth-friendly choices. Their mouths and bodies will thank them.